I like to just live one day where I don't have to deal with this thing randomly disconnecting while I'm streaming. It's always whenever I'm streaming. And mind you, I'm not even doing anything that's super demanding on the system. It's literally just. It's most likely my PC's age, although it's not that old. But it did technically come out 5 years ago. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the thing. Because I couldn't even guess. I mean, I did, but. Okay. Seattle. Public parking. Right there. Phone off. Fun fact. Just like I said earlier, I woke up at like 7 a.m. 6 a.m. yesterday. I woke up at most likely the exact same time today. I don't even know why I've been doing that. I feel like it's most likely because of the fact that I want to go ahead and eat breakfast early. And my phone does this weird thing where even if it's fully charged, by the time I go to sleep and I turn it off, whenever I turn it on, like a minute after I turn it on, or like a few seconds after, it's like I'm gonna start draining into the 80s. I hope that's okay. It's probably my phone's age, because I've had it since 2019, and I think it was like probably the newest phone then. This is an iPhone 8. Or it might have been newer, but not the newest. So it's still relatively recent, so I don't know. And no, I'm not gonna beg someone to get me a new phone. That's not my intent. Also, I have no idea where the fuck this is. Oregon. By the way, I'm not tired. Or I'm sorry, I am. Because I went to sleep at midnight last night, and, yeah. I know where this is. This is California. Further up north in California. Oh, this. It's New York. Yeah. I've always wanted to go to New York. That's a nice place. Although I did watch a video earlier today about like different kinds of scammers. And there's one kind of scammer that I didn't even know existed until that video. And what they do is they act like they're giving someone a free, demo disc of like their music. But then they start hassling someone for money. Like, they'll initially say, oh, it won't cost you any money. And then they turn around and they're just like, okay, now that'll be like $20 or something. Yeah. Let's just say scammers need to go to a very special place. Scammer help. I'm gonna say this is somewhere in Los Angeles. Just get that going. Yeah. Oh, right. I should probably also mention something else. So, initially, whenever I did that Supersonic Countdown stream series, I wanted to stream the day before Sonic Frontiers came out. And what I planned on doing was separating the uh, '06 to 2008 era of Sonic and the Meta era into two different episodes. And, you know, having the last part of that final episode being, like, my, like, how Sonic changed my life. But instead I figured, you know what? I feel like if I keep doing this kind of daily thing, it's just gonna burn me out. Wow, some burnout. Apparently I'm already burnt out because I woke up early at like 6 a.m. like an idiot. No, it's not early by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I still stayed in bed at 6, and then eventually I got out of bed at like 6:30, I think, because my Papa had left. And I typically wait until he leaves in order to start doing stuff whenever I'm awake at that time, because I don't want him to think that I woke up super early just to do something stupid or something like that. Trust me, when I was younger, I used to do that. I used to sneak downstairs and grab snacks, like some cereal or something. I was a very odd child. Yeah, I mean, I may still be a bit of an oddball, but it's part of my charm, you know? It's just what makes me, me. The Lion King? Oh no! What I meant was, oh no, I happened to have been at work whenever that live-action remake of the movie came out. I can tell you right now that it wasn't good. But people still went to see it because it's Disney! It's Disney! Everybody loves Disney. Do they? Do they? Because I'm feeling inclined to say that people kind of like Disney, but, you know, it's the same as any other big old corp. Krang? Spelled Krang wrong, you idiots. I said it wrong because I said Krang with a G at the end. It's crane. Like a whooping crane. Or a crane machine. Or, one character from Kung Fu Panda. My humor is a mixed bag. Actually, it's kind of funny that I bring that up because today when I went walking, I was in Target and I met this nice lady. I don't know her name because I never asked her, but she was nice. But I made a joke and I ended up saying that exact same thing and then adding on to it saying that my jokes can either be bad or good. And she ended up saying, hey, don't talk bad about yourself. And the funny thing is, I always say that to other people who talk down about themselves. And like, sometimes people just do it as a way of expressing that, oh, I made a mistake, oh well. But for like some people, they'll say, oh, I feel like an idiot or something. Or they'll call themselves an idiot, but they aren't actually stupid. I'm guilty of that. And that's not a bad thing. It's literally just you admitting fault to something. But that's not outright saying that you are actually an idiot. It's literally just you admitting that you made a mistake, you'll do better next time, you felt foolish about it, you're not gonna do it again. But, I absolutely commend her for that. Because we need more people like that who, you know, even if they're not going through a good time themselves, they'll still take the time to appreciate those around them, and if those around them, you know, they make a simple mistake and they admit fault and they see that as them trying to put themselves down, they will go out of their way to say, hey, you know what, you did your best, that's all that matters. I absolutely freaking love that. And I wish to see more like that in the world. Absolutely. Anyway, with that being said, I had a pretty good day. I played more Sonic Frontiers, managed to get to Chaos Island a few hours ago. It's absolutely amazing, and I have to say this game is awesome. Like, no doubts in my mind. I'm not even done with the game, and that's why I've delayed the Let's Play to a later date. It's also the fact that I want to take the time to learn the secrets of the game, like the different Easter eggs they might have put in there, and all that other stuff. But I will say this: unlike the other mainline Sonic game, I do actually recommend this game, and I do give it a 10 out of 10, at least so far. Like I said, I have multiple criteria for what ends up going into my review, so everything starts out with a 10 out of 10, but if I find any flaws with any of the subcategories for the different, not categories, but like the different parts of the overall score, like sound design, and sound design can be stuff like music, audio design for like sound effects and stuff. If I find any faults with that, I'll knock down the score. So, it depends on how many cons I see and how many pros I see. If the pros massively outweigh the cons, like for example I find just one con and the rest of the things are pros, which yes, that means there will be 10 points I have to make, you know, like, and those points can either be pros or cons. That will ultimately determine what score that subcategory ends up being. So far, the game is a 10, because I haven't found any problems with it, again, aside from the pop-in, but that's excusable. First of all, it's Sega's first time doing something like this for a Sonic game, and lots of other open world or open-ended games have pop-in as well to save on resource for the system. So you have to understand that this was a deliberate decision by Sega to make sure that whatever platform you're playing on doesn't spontaneously combust, although the PS5 can run the game just fine. As a side note, to those who have an Xbox Series X and S, I feel for you guys. So Katie has said in their recent Sonic live stream on YouTube that, as it turns out, there is supposed to be a graphics option on the next-gen Xboxes, but for some reason it's not there due to a glitch. Like, you literally cannot access it. Now, me being on PS5, I can access it just fine, and the game originally started me off with the 4K mode, but I switched it over to 60 FPS because, you know, Sonic, speed, 60 FPS, it goes hand in hand. Yeah, so, with that being said, yeah. But they should be releasing an update to address that and fix it soon. So maybe they'll also fix the pop-in, because I think Sega knows that that is a problem. But it's not a problem that will cause you to have a bad playing experience. Rather, it's just you had to be close enough for this stuff to spawn, but even if you're going like super fast, it's not going to make you clip inside of it and get stuck, which is good. Because it pops up immediately when you get close to it. And as a side note, I have to say, I'm not even bothered by the floating platforms around the islands, because if you think about it, it would make sense for the Starfall Islands because they have this mysterious cyberspace thing going on. So obviously that's a side effect of the islands. Anyway, I have no idea what this is, so I'm just gonna guess Utah. Arkansas? Well, I'm okay with that, because I've actually been to Arkansas. Oh, Palm Springs. Thanks for the hint. I'm gonna keep streaming until 10, and then I'm probably gonna, obviously, I'm gonna end the stream at or around that time. I think I have a play date with a headset, or, I don't know, it's up to me. But, yeah. All I know is I really hope I break that cycle of waking up earlier than I usually do, because it's really messed with my sleeping. That's a cool looking bird. And speaking of breaking the cycle, I can confidently say Sonic Frontiers has broken the Sonic cycle. I should also say, don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to the big critic people like IGN and stuff giving the game 7s and even lower scores because, Sonic had a rough transition into 3D. It's not quite the unpolished, broken mess as 06. It doesn't, something kissing a human because you're a hedgehog. Can we put that past us, please? It's been 16 years. We are tired of hearing about it. We put that behind us, and besides, the end of that game, the ending is that Elise resets the timeline in the game to where she never meets Sonic and the Eggman invasion never happens. So quite literally, she made the entire game not canon. So while she is still technically a character within the series, we'll never see her again, partially because of how piss poor the game is. And how they handled her. And everything else. But, yeah, so don't listen to those critics who are being overly pretentious and nitpicking the dumb little things like your actual playtime. So, like, as long as it's not spawning directly where you are and causing you to be stuck in level geometry, that is all that matters. As long as it's done to save on resources on whatever device that you're playing on, and it's done in a way where it's like, it's reasonable, but it's not like entire areas despawn while you're walking away or something. It's sort of like a local thing where you'll see platforms whenever you're close by, but whenever you walk away a little distance away, it's like, again, just to reiterate, this is a completely normal practice whenever it comes to open-ended games like that, because it saves on resources, so that way the game won't like chug whenever you're playing it, So it's more of a necessity than just, oh, it's not optimized, because it's very optimized. Yeah, so anyway, just don't listen to those dumb critics. Listen to the user scores, like the actual scores made by the individuals who like the game, like the actual fans and people who have played the game personally, who may have never played a Sonic game before, but they still like it because they heard about the game, they were curious about it, they wanted to play it, they ended up playing through it, they loved it, played through it again. That's all that matters, is those scores. And come to find out, a few hours ago, Sonic the Hedgehog's social media, I don't mean Sonic the character, I'm talking about the actual Twitter for Sonic Team. They posted an image of the cover art of the game minus the title, but they showed the different scores they've gotten from various reviewers. And you wouldn't believe it, this game actually is getting amazing reviews from this. And it's crazy to see that because for the longest time Sonic was seen as this big laughing stock. And now he's not. He is literally back to the way he once was. And I am very, very happy to see that. And I'm very hopeful to see what happens in the future. Because honestly, this is exactly what the Sonic franchise needed. They needed a breath of fresh air. They needed a soft reboot that wouldn't be like an 06 situation, but instead it would be, think of it like this: Sonic Frontiers is to this new era of Sonic as Adventure was to the Dreamcast era. Like whenever Sega introduced the Sega Dreamcast, which was short-lived, but at the same time, it did still usher in a new era of Sonic. So that's all that matters. I can't guess. Anyway. Oh, I know what this is. This is Times Square. Good old Times Square. Oh, I think this is, I'm gonna say Hawaii, but I don't know. Maybe? It was Florida. Las Vegas.
If my kids ain't going like oh, flowers, hey.
Oh no, it's this one. No. Let me explain why this is a bad thing. I clearly chose US. Canadian. And that's not to knock Canada. In fact, I'm sure Canada is a nice place. But yeah. Anyway, with that being said, sorry for the short stream. But yeah. Just tired, been a long day. Just want to relax for the rest of the night. Maybe hop on VR or something. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to my thoughts so far on Sonic Frontiers. Again, I highly recommend it. It's not going to disappoint you like the past 10 years. It's the polar opposite of a disappointment. It is exactly what you would hope for in a return to form Sonic game. And I cannot stress that enough. Get the game. I don't care if you have to wait for a sale if you don't have the money for it, or if you do have the money but you're still hesitant. Get it. I don't care if you're hesitant about it. This game is not another Sonic cycle. It is the opposite of a Sonic cycle. It is a Sonic rebirth. With that being said, ladies and gents and non-binaries and whoever else is watching, if you are, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Good night.